What a what a trash person she is. Oh my god, lied to you guys. Stop listening to them. Oh, so all my exes cheated on me. All of my exes were horrible. I never did anything wrong. Oh, okay. Ma'am, you're the common denominator. Out of all those failed relationships, you were involved.
Subject: please keep my email private. I need to share this. Hey, brother. First off, please don't share my email address if you read this on your channel. I'm writing this because a friend recently put me onto your videos, and I've been binge watching ever since. I didn't know there were this many men out there going through the same stuff. Honestly, I thought I was alone. I thought I was stupid. But now I know I was just trusting and maybe a little too hopeful for my own good. My name's Samson, and I'm not writing this for sympathy. I'm writing because I need to get it off my chest. And maybe, just maybe, another man will hear it and think twice before making the same mistake I did. This all started when I moved to Florida after my divorce. I didn't know anyone here, but I needed to get as far away from Ohio as I could. I needed a fresh start. That's when I met Larry. Larry's this old school, tough as nails type of guy who's been living down here for 24 years. He's divorced too. His wife cheated on him back in the day. We bonded over beers and pain. You'd be surprised how easy it is to open up when someone actually listens. He told me that after he found out the child he was raising wasn't his, he walked away without looking back and never felt guilty about it. Said it was one of the best decisions he ever made. When I told him my story, he shook his head. He said, "Your first mistake was messing with a single mother." I remember dropping my head in embarrassment, like a kid getting scolded. But Larry reached over, grabbed my chin, lifted it, and said, "You are a man. Men make mistakes, but we don't cry about them." Man, that line stuck with me. Still plays in my head every morning like a broken record. You are a man. No fluff, no pity, just truth. After that, Larry told me a story from his time in the military. Some real hero stuff. He's the type of guy you just respect without even trying. After that story, he looked me dead in the eyes and said, "All right, I talked. Now finish your damn story." So I did. I told him about Layla. She was stunning, smart, kind. The type of woman who makes you believe the past doesn't matter. When we met, she was divorced with 2 kids, 1 boy and 1 girl. She made it clear she wasn't looking for a father for her kids or some flashy guy to throw money around. Said all she wanted was love and respect. I believed her. Her ex-husband had cheated on her, and there were nights she'd break down crying in my arms. She said she just wanted to feel safe again, wanted to be seen, heard, loved, and me. Thinking I could be the man to give her that, I dove in head first. The kids were great too. Her son and I would throw the football around in the yard, and I'd sit on the floor for tea parties with her daughter. I didn't see them as a burden. I saw them as part of the package, and I loved that package. We went on 3 big trips together, one to Tennessee, one to Myrtle Beach, and another to New York during Christmas. Each trip felt like we were growing tighter. We laughed. We shared moments I'll never forget. By the end of that second year, I proposed to Layla. She cried so hard when I asked her to marry me. Not the polite, "Oh my God," type of cry, but full-on, shoulder-shaking sobs. All she could say was, "Please treat me better than the last one did." When I told Larry that part, he looked at me and said, "I should smack you, but carry on." We both laughed, but I could tell he meant it. That was his way of saying, "You walked into a trap." But I kept telling the story anyway. Things changed fast. I'd say not even a full year into our marriage. She went from sweet and supportive to critical and cold. I'd put the kids in timeout for talking back or not cleaning their rooms, and she'd lose it on me. "You're not their father," she'd shout. "You don't get to discipline them." But I was buying the shoes. I was helping with homework. I was staying up late cleaning vomit after one of them got sick. I was being the father she said she didn't need, but clearly expected me to be. Then came the disrespect, not even behind closed doors, right in front of the kids. She'd roll her eyes, call me names, tell me I was broke, useless, soft. Larry stopped me again and asked, "Where's the real dad?" I told him Layla had said her ex was in prison, 25 years to life. Larry just nodded and said, "Oh, well, it's obvious what he did. Carry on." Then came the weekend that changed everything. She asked me to take the kids to Six Flags, said she needed some alone time. I figured maybe it'd help our marriage, give her a breather, let me bond with the kids more. I agreed. Saturday morning, I got the kids up early, packed snacks, loaded the van, even took them to Bob Evans for breakfast first. But something felt off. The whole time I had this pain in my gut, a tightness in my chest. My instincts were screaming, but I didn't want to listen. About an hour into the drive, I couldn't take it anymore. I told the kids I forgot something important and we wouldn't be able to get into Six Flags without it. They were bummed, but I promised them unlimited ice cream if they didn't tell Mommy. They laughed. They were just being kids. I turned around and headed back. I left the AC running in the car and told them I'd be right back. I walked into our townhouse, and that pain in my gut, it knew. I could hear them before I even reached the bedroom. I pushed open the door, and there she was, Layla, under some dude I'd never seen before. He jumped off her like he saw a ghost, grabbed his clothes, and ran past me without saying a word. I just stared at her. She stared back. Neither of us said a damn thing. I turned and left. That's when it hit me. I had taken her minivan. The kids were still in the car. I didn't even care. She called minutes later, screaming, "Where are my gosh darn kids?" "I'm calling the police if you harm them." I told her, "They're already gone. I'm sorry they had to suffer your consequences," and hung up. That wasn't me. I don't even talk like that. It was like something snapped. I was done. She called back, screaming again. "So you tried to bake my kids in the summer weather. Your butt is going to jail." That's when I got a lawyer. Told me to go no contact, especially with her threatening me like that. Then came the real kicker. Layla tried to file for child support, said her ex was in prison and someone had to help raise the kids. But my lawyer, he did some digging. Turns out, the ex only had to pay for the oldest, because the youngest wasn't even his. He had divorced her once he found out. That crushed me. All this time, I had no idea. She never told me. I had been raising a child that belonged to God knows who, but I stood firm. I told my lawyer, "I'm not paying a damn cent." She brought the kids to court. They cried, begged me not to leave. That hurt more than anything. But I knew staying would hurt even more. I couldn't live with a woman who cheated on me and lied to me about the very foundation of our family. The courtroom was tense. Her lawyer tried to paint me as unstable. Mine fired back with every ounce of truth we had. In the end, the judge sided with me. No child support, no contact, just freedom. I packed up, left Ohio, and started over in Florida. That's when I met Larry. That's when I started healing. That's when I found your channel. So thank you for what you do, for giving men a voice, for showing us we're not alone. If you share this, please just call me Samson. I'm rebuilding now, one day at a time. And to any man out there hearing this, love doesn't mean losing yourself. Respect doesn't mean being used. And fatherhood should never be handed out like a participation trophy. We are men. Men make mistakes, but we don't cry about them. We learn, we grow, and we move the hell on. Stay strong. Samson. Subject, update. You won't believe what Layla's ex sent me from prison. Hey, brother. It's Samson again. Wasn't planning on writing you so soon, but something happened that I can't keep to myself. I thought I was done with that part of my life. I thought I closed the chapter, packed my bags, and burned the book. But like they say, some things come back around whether you want them to or not. Last week, I got a letter in the mail. No return address, just my name, written in shaky, messy handwriting. The kind you get when a man's writing through a dirty, scratched up piece of plexiglass. At first, I thought it might have been a scam or some leftover debt collector trying to shake me down. But when I opened it up, man, my hands went cold. It was a handwritten letter from Layla's ex-husband, the one she claimed was locked up for life. I'll admit, I stared at it for a full hour before I even started reading. Just held it in my lap, eyes scanning the first few words over and over. Samson, you don't know me, but I know everything about you. My first thought was, is this some kind of threat? But as I read deeper, that thought turned into something else. Realization. This man wasn't trying to hurt me. He was trying to warn me. And as messed up as it sounds, reading that letter gave me more peace than I've had in years. Because for the first time since this whole mess started, I finally understood that none of it was ever my fault. Let me break it down for you just like I did for Larry. The letter. He started by saying he wasn't mad at me, said he'd heard about me through mutual connections, some distant cousin who saw Layla's name pop up in court records and told him she remarried. From there, the prison gossip mill took over, and next thing you know, he's getting clippings and half-baked updates about Samson, the new stepdad. But what got me was the second paragraph. He wrote, I ain't got much left in this world, Samson, but I got truth, and if I don't put it somewhere before I go, I'll take it to the grave like the rest of us fools. He told me that Layla used to be different. Said when they first met, she was sweet, quiet, even a little shy. He was the one who chased her. Said she had this way of looking at you like you were the only man alive, like you were important. He said she got pregnant with their first child after 6 months of dating. He proposed the same week she told him. They moved fast. He was young, just starting out in HVAC, working long days and nights to save up for a house. Layla didn't work. She stayed home, said she wanted to focus on raising the baby, but after their daughter was born, everything changed. She got cold, distant, started staying out late saying she needed space, would leave for 2, 3 days at a time, no call, no explanation. And when he asked, she'd explode. Said he was controlling, insecure, abusive. That word, abusive, he said it broke him because he'd never laid a hand on her, not once. He grew up watching his mother get beat to a pulp, and he swore to God he'd never be that man. But she weaponized the word like a sword, cut him off from his family, isolated him. He said it only got worse when she got pregnant again. He had doubts. The math wasn't adding up. The dates were fuzzy, but when he brought it up, she flipped it on him again. Accused him of not trusting her. Said he was trying to ruin the family. Said if he ever questioned her loyalty again, she'd call the police and say he hit her. He stayed quiet after that, bit his tongue, put his head down, tried to be a good husband, a good father. But the baby didn't look like him. Not even close. Different skin tone, different eyes. Even the hospital nurse gave him a weird look when they handed her over. That's when he made the biggest mistake of his life. The crime. He said he came home one day after work and caught her in their bedroom. Not with a man, but on the phone. Whispering, laughing, saying things no married woman should be saying. He snatched the phone and saw the texts, saw the photos. He confronted her, and she laughed in his face, told him he was a joke, that the baby wasn't his, that she'd been sleeping with at least 2 other guys for months, and that he was just there for the bills. He snapped. He didn't hurt her, he made that clear, but he tore the place up, smashed her phone, broke every plate in the kitchen, punched a hole in the wall, cursed her out until he lost his voice. And when she called the cops, they didn't care about why, just what they saw. He got charged with destruction of property and endangerment because one of the kids was in the room when it happened. He pleaded guilty, thinking it'd be a slap on the wrist. But she showed up to court with crocodile tears and claimed he'd threatened her life, said she was scared for her safety, said he was violent and unstable and dangerous. The judge believed her. He got 7 years in state prison. First offense. No parole for 5. The whole time, she never brought the kids to visit, never wrote, never answered his calls. The only update he ever got was a court notice saying he still owed child support for a child that wasn't even his. He fought it, but he didn't have a lawyer, didn't have money, didn't have a voice. The aftermath. He's been in prison for over a decade now, and he said not a day goes by where he doesn't wish he had walked away instead of yelling. Wished he'd packed his things and left that night. But when you build your whole life around a woman, and your family, and your identity, it's hard to walk away. You think staying is strength, but sometimes leaving is the bravest thing you can do. He ended the letter with this: Samson, I don't know where you are in life. I don't know what you've been through, but I know the woman you married, and I know what she's capable of. Don't ever let her back in. Not even a text. That woman is poison. And if you drink from her again, you'll die slow. Man, I read that last line 3 times. I felt every word in my chest like a brick. What the letter confirmed. I sat down with Larry later that night and read the whole thing to him. He didn't say much, just smoked his cigar, sipped his whiskey, and nodded slowly. Then he said, "She belongs in jail right next to him." I agreed. That letter confirmed what I always suspected, but couldn't prove. It made sense now. The coldness, the mood swings, the cheating, the fake tears, the gaslighting, the threats. She didn't change after marrying me, but she was always like that. I was just too blind to see it. She used him. Then she used me. Hell, she probably used the guy I caught her with, too. More details I didn't share before. There's stuff I didn't mention in my last email. Thought it was too painful. But after this letter, I want it all out in the open. Like how she used to lose her debit card once a month and ask me to cover all the groceries just this time. Like how she'd take my car without asking and rack up speeding tickets I'd later have to pay. Like how she'd fake migraines just to avoid intimacy for weeks. Then post pictures online with her friends at rooftop bars and brunch parties. And let's not forget her mom. Oh man, her mom was just as bad. That woman would come over unannounced, talk trash about me in Spanish like I didn't understand, and bring over her grown 35-year-old son to fix things in our house so she could sneak him some cash. He didn't fix anything. He broke more than he repaired. And when I brought it up, Layla said I was being disrespectful to her culture. Every time I stood up for myself, I was the villain. Every time I disagreed, I was toxic. She used words like weapons, sharpened by TikTok therapists, and Instagram quotes about knowing your worth. But the truth is, she never wanted a husband. She wanted a sponsor, a stand-in, a fallback plan. The recovery. Since moving to Florida, I've been rebuilding. Got a new job doing custom woodwork. Built Larry a patio bench that he shows off like I made it out of gold. Started working out again, eating better, sleeping through the night without dreaming about screaming matches or kids crying in the next room. I'm not whole yet, but I'm on the way. And getting that letter, it didn't break me. It reminded me that I'm not crazy, that I was a good man who just chose the wrong woman. Sometimes the warning signs aren't obvious. Sometimes they look like love, like laughter, like shared secrets at 3 a.m. But they're lies, wrapped in romance. So to any man listening to this story, hear me. If your gut says something's wrong, don't ignore it. If she lies once, she'll lie again. And if she cheats once, she'll cheat again. And if she cries every time you try to talk, she ain't crying for you, she's crying at you. She's using emotion to shut you up. Don't fall for it. Final words. Layla's ex said something else that stuck with me. He said, "There are women out there who will feed off your peace like it's fuel. They don't want love, they want power. And when they're done with you, they'll move on to the next man like nothing happened." That's who Layla is. That's who I married. And thank God I made it out alive. Thank you again for your platform, for being a lighthouse in the middle of this storm, for showing men like me that healing is possible. If you share this, just call me Samson, the man who survived a hurricane and learned how to build again. Samson.
Stop it. Sir, Larry seems like a good friend. What's his name? He seems like a good guy. Keep him around if you can. Oh my gosh, this woman lied and deceived you. My kids, you can't touch my kids. You can't discipline my kids. Well, I don't have to pay for them then. How about that? I'm not going to play father role. I can't be a father. I'm not saying dude should be, hitting on kids or anything, but like if he says, "Hey, I told you to straighten your room, you didn't do it. No dessert tonight." "Hey, you don't talk to my child like that." "Yes, I do. I bought the groceries." He's not getting any blueberry cheesecake. I told him to clean his dang on room and he didn't clean it. I'm eating his piece of cheesecake. What's wrong with that? How you going? "Don't talk to my kids like that." Ridiculous. Guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments. I'm going to catch you guys at the next one.